Alright, hello everybody. My name is Bob Hunter and I want to welcome you guys to the business financing webinar, where today we're going to be talking about how to qualify for business financing without using your personal credit. Now this is live, so we're going to give people a few more minutes to get signed in here. We have Jerry from Henderson, Nevada. Thanks for joining, Jerry. We have Tiffany from New York, New York. Glad to see you in the webinar, Tiffany. A few more people coming in here. While we're waiting, just in the chat box, put where you're from, where you're viewing from, and tell us a little bit about your business in the chat box. And yeah, we'll just give some people a few more minutes to get in here, and then we'll get started. All right, I have Henry from Portland, Oregon. Nice to meet you, Henry. Thanks for joining our webinar. Okay, we're going to give everybody about another minute here. All right. We have someone from Indianapolis, Indiana. Thanks so much for joining. All right, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. And as people trickle in, definitely put your information in the chat. Let everyone know where you're from, what you do, and we can get to know each other a little bit more. So again, this is the business financing webinar presented by Oxford Pierpont Financial. My name is Bob Hunter, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to qualify for business financing without using your personal credit. Now, I like to just start out with a question, okay? I want you guys to answer this question. If your business applied for a $250,000 loan today, would you be approved without having to rely on your personal credit, all right? So that means if you tried to apply, would you have to put down your social security number and your personal credit to get approved for the loan? And would that help or hurt you, all right? Or would you be able to just use your business credit, right, your business EIN, and get the loan? If the answer to that question is no, then it's probably because your business credit is not strong enough to support the business's financing needs on its own. We're going to fix that problem today. The purpose of this training is to help you understand exactly what must be done to build a strong business credit profile so that you can access six-figure financing without having to rely on your personal credit. And we're going to go through all the reasons why that's so important and just what you're able to accomplish and do once you've gotten to that stage in your business. Now, I want to ask you guys another question, all right? Are you thinking the way that most people do about business credit, right? Most people, they think that only big businesses can get business credit. Most people don't know the right steps to build, so they fail miserably when trying to get business credit. They get denied, right? You apply, you get denied, and you have no idea why that is. Most people don't know how to get all different types of credit, okay? So they think that there's only one type. They think maybe they can only go to the bank. They think maybe they have to go to the SBA or something else. Well, we're going to talk about the different types of credit that you can get. And of course, most people believe that the bank is the only place that they can go for growing their business, right? So I need money, I need a loan. My first thought is to go to the bank. If you are thinking in those ways, definitely let those preconceptions go. And we're going to talk about all the different things that you have access to as a business owner so that you can grow by building your business credit and doing it all without having to use that social security number so that you're able to separate yourself properly from the business. Now, before we get too much deeper into this, I want to tell you a little bit more about myself and about Oxford Pierpont. So again, my name is Bob Hunter. I'm the operations director at Oxford Pierpont, and Oxford Pierpont does consulting, financing, and marketing, and basically we help businesses grow, right? So we do business development. We kind of figure out where that business is, what stage they're in, what they're looking for, what basically they're missing, and what they need to just really move their business forward so that they can scale their companies. And with Oxford Pierpont Financial, we're able to really help you guys understand things on a financial basis, right? So helping you understand what your current business credit profile looks like, helping you understand what funding options you have access to, and so much more. So that's what Oxford Pierpont does in a nutshell. Now, more importantly, and this is where I really get super passionate, the Oxford Pierpont Foundation. It is behind us. It is the one reason that we do what we do, all right? 30% of every dollar we earn goes to the Oxford Pierpont Foundation. And to kind of explain what that is, basically, I want to do my part in ending hunger. That is my thing, right? That is my why, okay? And so everything that we're doing is all about funding that foundation so that we can have, so that we can use technologies and research and do a lot of investing in AI so that we're able to now grow food in massive quantities and then be able to give all of this food away to people who need it 100% for free. That's what I want to do with my life. That's what my focus is. That's what my purpose is. And so as exciting as it is to teach business owners how to do this and how to do that, how to grow and everything else, I'm teaching you guys about business credit. The reason I wake up in the morning and the reason I do this job isn't because I'm passionate about marketing. It's not because I'm passionate about financing. It is because I'm passionate about this one thing. And I'm getting stuck on this for a second because I want you guys to be thinking throughout this presentation, what is your thing, right? I know that everyone wants the basics. You want to have a comfortable lifestyle. You want to be able to take care of your family. You want to be able to do a number of things, but just really think for yourself. What is your thing? What is your why? After you're comfortable, after your family's taken care of, why is it that you wake up and do what you do? For me, it's the Oxford Pierpont Foundation and doing food technologies for people that need it. For you, it might be something else. But think about that because that's going to also influence how you see your business and how you see your funding potential as your business grows. Now, there's a reason for it to grow beyond just helping yourself. So this one in particular is mine. Alright, so now you guys understand a little bit more about my why and why exactly it is that we do what we do, and you have a better idea of what you should be thinking about when it comes to your own business and just understanding your own needs and your own goals, right? So now that we've done that, let's talk about the actual presentation, and we're going to talk about the contents first. It is broken down, this presentation is broken down into 5 key parts. In part 1, we're going to talk all about what business credit even is, okay? And the difference is really between business credit and your personal credit. Next, we're going to talk about what you can do with business credit in part 2. And in part 3, we're going to go over how to build business credit. In part 4, we're going to go over how to use that business credit. And finally, in part 5, we're going to talk about taking action, which is the most important step, right? And so if you stick around till the end, we do have lots of giveaways and special gifts and special things like that so that you're able to really be rewarded for just sticking it through to the end and having actually learned all of this wonderful information. So let's get right into it. Part 1, what is business credit? Without business credit, you will always be limited to the strength or weakness of your personal credit and your personal collateral, all right? So what that basically means is that if you do not have business credit, you're only going to be able to get as much funding as you can personally guarantee with your personal credit. We don't want that. Business credit is credit that is obtained in a business name, right? So you don't have to use your own social security number anymore. Business credit is linked to your EIN, not your social security number. And with business credit, the business builds its own credit profile and its own credit score, right? So now it's becoming really independent of your personal life, and the business credit is able to be sustainable on its own. With an established credit score and profile, the business will then qualify for credit. So in that question I asked at the very beginning, right, if you went and you applied for a $250,000 loan, would you be able to qualify without using your personal credit? Well, this is how. It's all about making sure you have well-established business credit that has a strong credit profile and a strong credit score. The most important distinction here is that this credit is in the business name and it is based on the business's ability to pay, not the business owner's. Since the business qualifies for the credit, in some cases, there is no personal credit check required from the business owner. The stronger your business credit, the less likely it is that you will be asked for your personal credit. Now, part 2, what can you do with business credit? Once established, the business can use its credit to qualify for revolving store credit cards like Staples, Lowe's, BP, Walmart, and even MasterCard, Visa, and American Express. All right, so you want to make sure that you've got a strong credit profile so that you have access to more funding sources. With more established business credit, you can begin qualifying for credit lines and loans. Some other benefits here. All right, so according to the SBA, business credit limits are between 10 and 100 times higher than consumer credit limits. Now, let's think for a second, right? Why would business credit limits be so much higher than consumer credit limits? Well, if your consumer profile is based on what you personally own because it's your personal credit, it would make sense that you're limited to just what you're able to personally generate, which, let's say that you're very well paid. Let's say you make six figures, right? You make $100,000 a year. Your credit is still going to be based on just your earnings. For a business, that is way different. It's based on the business's cash flow and revenue. So for example, if you're trying to get an American Express card, maybe you get $5,000, but if you're a business, maybe that same American Express card is $50,000 because you've got to go buy equipment, maybe you're buying cars. There's a number of things that you're trying to do as a business that are so much more expensive than you would be dealing with as a consumer. So those limits are 10 to 100 times higher than they would be for personal consumer credit profiles. Business owners who have both personal and business credit established, they can enjoy double the borrowing power and access even greater funding sources. Now again, obviously, this entire presentation is about building business credit, right? Getting financing without having to use your personal credit. But that still does not change the fact that if you've got both good personal credit and you've got good business credit, you're able to now have access to double the funding sources, right? So if you can have both, you definitely should have both. It'll make your life a lot easier. A business owner can obtain credit much faster using their business credit profile versus their personal credit profile. So for your personal credit, it might take you several years to establish the history needed to get, let's say, a high 700s, 800 credit score, right? Well, for a business owner, you can get your credit score built up in as little as 6 months. And depending on what you're doing, in some cases, as little as 90 days, which is crazy compared to personal credit because you have to wait so long. Let's imagine just like a teenager. You just turned 18, you have no credit. It could take you years before you're able to get high credit limit cards. If you're a business owner, it might take you less than a year. Business credit can quickly be obtained regardless of your personal credit quality. That's the beauty of it. Now, obviously, if you have bad credit, you should get that fixed, right? You should clean that up. But you don't want your business to be held back because of your personal credit history and maybe negative decisions. So this is almost like a second chance for people. Using business credit also protects your business, protects you from taking on personal liability. I have this really great example of this 2021 all-electric F-150 that I really want, right? Let's say that I want to go get that truck in all its glory, and I have two options of how I'm going to buy it. I can buy it using my personal credit history, all right, and my personal finances, or I can buy it through the business. Now, if I buy it through the business, but I don't have good business credit, I'm going to be asked for my social security number, and I'm going to be asked for a personal guarantee on the loan, which means if anything goes wrong with the business, they're going to be looking for me to pay off the balance of that truck. Well, if you have properly established business credit and you never had to use your personal credit history for your auto financing, now all of the liability is safely within the business and none of it is attached to you personally. That is the beauty of having properly established business credit. So it's a really, really, really important thing. The other big thing here is that most business owners, they don't realize that when you apply for financing, your business credit is reviewed. So in the example of that truck, right, if I went to apply for that truck just using my personal credit, I would totally expect that someone's going to check my credit history, right? They're going to see if I pay my bills on time. But people don't realize when they are doing commercial lending and financing applications, the same thing is happening, right? Someone is checking your business credit profile to see if you have a credit-worthy business. But you don't even know what's on your business credit profile. Just think, How many of you watching right now have actually checked your business credit? Put a 1 in the chat box or a yes in the chat box if you've actually checked your business credit and you actually know what's on it. See, we all know what's, generally speaking anyway, we all know what's on our personal credit profile. We know what debts we have on there. We generally know what our score is. We're aware of it, right? But as business owners, we need to have the same awareness for our business credit, because if you don't, you're going to end up getting denied and having no idea why you're not qualifying for certain applications. It's all about managing your business credit. Not having business credit established will get an owner declined for financing. It is as simple as that. And you've got to really just put yourselves in the shoes of the lender, okay? Let's say that I have $10,000, all right? You need $10,000. You need my $10,000. Well, some of the first things I'm going to do is check and see, like, well, should I give you this $10,000? Can you manage $10,000, right? Are you going to give it back? Are you going to default on the loan? There's all these questions that I might have as a lender, and having the ability to check business credit, that's going to help me in my decision making. So you got to make sure that you have a credit profile that is stable and worthy of you being able to qualify for loans. Alright, so before we jump into part 3, how to actually build the business credit, okay, because this is going to be a little bit in depth, I want you guys to take out a pen and paper if you've not done so already, and be prepared to take some notes. And also, if you've got any questions along the way, I will try to keep an eye on the chat box over here on my iPad here. And if you guys have any questions, you can just try and ask those, and I will be as diligent as I can to get to everything. If I don't get to your question, though, it's probably because it is something that gets answered in the FAQ at the very end of this presentation. So just stick around to the end, and you'll almost certainly be getting your question answered. Alright, so part 3. How to build business credit. So now we're getting into the really fun stuff, the nitty-gritty here. A business starts building a credit profile much the same as a consumer does. So remember I gave you guys that example of the 18-year-old, right? Just turned 18, they're getting all these credit offers. Nobody is sending the 18-year-old a $50,000 Amex card, right? Or an Amex card with no credit limit. American Express isn't trying to do that. First, you start out with those little limits, right? So you might have an unsecured credit card, credit card with a $300 limit, or maybe it's $500. Maybe you're lucky and it's even $1,000. But there's no way you're getting these 5-figure amounts to start out. A business owner has to start out basically the same way. You've got to start out small, pay your bills, and then over time you get larger and larger amounts of credit. But with a business, that time is a lot shorter because you're able to pay those bills faster and get access to credit faster. So let's talk about the steps of business credit building. So first, the business is going to start with no credit profile. Then the business is going to get approved for credit, and that's going to be reported to the business credit reporting agencies like Experian, Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet. Then the business will use that credit, they're going to pay their bills in a timely manner, and they're going to be able to have more and more access. Now they've got a positive business credit profile established, right? Because you've been getting credit, you've been getting approved, it's been small, but you've been paying your bills on time, you've got a good credit profile established. So next, as the business continues to use that credit, they continue to pay their bills on time, they continue to get access to larger amounts of funding. So in a nutshell, those are really the 5 steps that it takes to build business credit. So now let's get into the details of how that actually happens. Number 1, you must establish a credible business credit profile, okay? The perception that lenders have of the vendors, that lenders and vendors and creditors have of your business, all that matters. And that really does impact your ability to get qualified for loans and for different types of funding. Let's go back to that example of the $10,000, right? I have $10,000, you need $10,000. Well, first, are you even a business, right? How can I tell? If I went and checked Am I going to be able to see basic things that a business should have? Is everything going to be in order? Do you look like a legitimate business that has been around, that is able to pay its bills, okay? So establish a credible business credit profile so that you can have that credibility and legitimacy for your business. Before applying for business credit, a business must ensure that it meets or exceeds all lender credibility standards. And there are over 20 different credibility points that are necessary for a business to have a strong and credible foundation. So, number 2, you want to make sure, and I know this sounds like, well, what do you mean there? You want to make sure you are using your exact legal name for your business, okay? Your full business name should be included on should include any recorded DBA filings that you will be using, and be sure that your name is exactly the same on your corporation papers, licenses, and bank statements. All right. Here's a very good example of that. We are Oxford Pierpont Incorporated. If you look us up, our registration, that's what you see is Oxford Pierpont Incorporated. But we also do business as Oxford Pierpont Business Services. There's Oxford Pierpont Financial. There's Oxford Pierpont Learning. There's a lot. And so if we are applying for business credit, it would be helpful if we went on ahead and put those DBA filings on the application so that we are not confusing people, right? We don't want to confuse the lenders. We don't want them having to ask, well, is this the right Oxford Pierpont? No. We want to make sure that we include all that stuff up front and that we're using the same business name on every major application, license, bank statements, all that stuff, so that we don't confuse lenders. You also want to make sure that you are using a corporate entity type. This is number 3, and this is a big one. So often, business owners don't understand the importance of having a corporate entity type, and so what they do is they register their business as a sole proprietorship or a sole as a partnership, and they really should have registered it at the least as a limited liability company or LLC. Now, if you're not using a corporate entity type, you might be doing business, but you are not truly a business in the eyes of lenders. So make sure that you register at the very least an LLC. It's nothing to go on irs.gov and get that done. You can use an S Corp, you can use a C Corp, whatever it is, just make sure that you've got a corporate entity type. Number 4, you must have an EIN for your business, not an SSN, okay? This is another big one. Whether you have employees or not, I know it's called an employer identification number, but whether you have employees or not, your business must have a federal EIN, okay? Your employer identification number. Just like you have a social security number, your business, your credible business, should have an employer identification number. Your tax ID or EIN is used to open your business bank account and to establish your business credit profile. So verify that the same EIN is used on all your business documents. That's another point of just not confusing people, right? You don't want to confuse lenders. You want to make sure you've got this cohesive profile on everything that you're doing. Next, number 5, you want to make sure that you're using the correct type of business address. This is yet another huge one. A lot of people, their first instinct is to put down wherever they get their mail, okay? Or maybe they think that they're doing right by going and getting a P.O. box. Don't do that. You need to make sure that you've got a real brick and mortar building that a postman walks into that is not a UPS address or a P.O. box, right? You need a deliverable physical address. Use a business address solution such as a virtual office or a mail-only office that you can just kind of pay a monthly fee for, have your mail delivered. They will literally even take a snapshot of your mail and send it to you through an app so that you don't even have to check your mail, okay? So this isn't about going and buying office space just so that you can have business credit. No, it's about making sure that you have a dedicated place for your mail to go that is not a P.O. box or a UPS address. Some lenders will not approve your funding unless this basic criteria is met, all right? So those are just the first 5. Let's keep on going and let's learn a little bit more about the different requirements there. Number 6, You need to make sure that you have a dedicated business phone number. And this one is kind of like the address, right? So your first instinct with the address may have been to just put down your house address or a P.O. box. Well, people, their first instinct when it comes to phone numbers is, oh, I'm going to put down my cell phone number, right? Or I'm going to put down the house phone. No, you want to make sure you have a business phone number that is dedicated just to your business, all right? And you want to make sure that this is a number that is local so that it can be registered with 411. And let's talk about 411 for a second. Lenders, vendors, and creditors, they will verify that your business is listed with 411. It's not something that can be faked, so it's a very good check for a lot of lenders to make sure that this is a verifiable real business. So again, make sure you've got a dedicated number for your business. You also, if possible, you want to make sure you've got a toll-free number for added credibility. Lenders perceive those 800 numbers or those toll-free numbers as a sign of business credibility. It's not like everyone goes out and gets an 800 number unless you really do have a business. So it's definitely a good sign if that's what's on your applications. Even if you're a single owner, an 800 number provides the perception that you're a larger company and is great for your business. A toll-free number will give your business credibility, but you must not forget that you have to have a local phone number for the 411 directory assistance, okay? So make sure that you have both. Next, do not use a personal cell phone number as your main business line. I know I just touched on this a little bit, but it's worth really driving the point home. A cell or home phone number listed as your main address, as your main contact could definitely get you flagged as an unestablished business that is too high of a risk. So, do not put your personal cell phone number or your home phone number on any of your applications or anything related to your business. Just make sure you're sticking to your business line, your business phone number. Even if that number is forwarded to your personal, by the way. Just make sure that you're using a dedicated line there. Number 7. Yes, even in 2020, you do still need a fax number, right? Lenders perceive a credible business as one that has a fax number, and some lenders still are relying on fax to send and receive important business documents. You can easily do all this through an e-fax because I personally have not seen a fax machine or received a fax in several years. Put a 1 in the chat box if you are the exception to the rule and you're still using faxes, but whether you're using a physical fax machine or not, you still have to have access to a fax number, okay? So it's 2020 now, 2021 is right around the corner. Definitely get on board with e-faxes and make sure you've got that set up for your business. Number 8, and this is yet another huge one. I guess all these are really kind of huge, but this is another huge one. A modern website is a must for your business, okay? Credit providers are most definitely going to search for your business online. They're going to look for your website, and they're going to do as much research as they can about your business. And so it is a lot better for you if they're getting that information from your own website, from a website that you can control. Not only does it make you look like a more credible business, but it does give you the opportunity now to kind of control that narrative about what your business is, what you do, what your values are, who you guys are as a business. Not having a website will severely hurt your chances of obtaining business credit. Your website should be clean, it should be modern and effective, and it should communicate important information about your business, all right? And if you need a website, I know right now we're talking about all the stuff for Oxford Pierpont Financial, but if you need a website, the marketing half of our company does lots of website design, branding, logos, all that stuff, so that you can have a website put up for you very quickly. And if you stay to the end of this presentation, we actually might be giving away a website for your business for free. So just stick around. Number 9, create a proper business email address. It is important that you use a dedicated business email such as your name at yourcompany.com. All right, do not be the guy or the lady who puts down, Mr. Bob 2009 at yahoo.com. No. That is not the email address that you want to put on your business financing applications. So when you have your website done, you want to make sure that you get with your webmaster and make sure that you have a professional email set up, okay? Even if those emails are forwarded to your personal email that you've got that you check every day, the point is to make sure that you have a professional one. Your name at yourcompany.com. A professional business email gives your business added credibility and reduces your chances of being denied for your funding. Do not try to use free email providers such as Gmail and Outlook for your business credit applications. I talk to so many business owners every single day, and I can't count the number of them that have their name at gmail.com as their contact for their entire business, all right? This is a really big thing. Gmails are not okay. Make sure you've got a professional email address for your business. And now, number 10, and this is probably the biggest one, so I guess you could say that we saved the most important thing for last here. Establish your business banking history as soon as possible. Cannot stress that enough. You got to have your business banking history started basically as soon as your business starts. Your banking history is vital to your future success of being able to secure larger and larger business loans. Let's say that you apply, right? You do your application. One of the very first things they're going to ask you is for your banking history. Going back to that example of the $10,000, if I am supposed to be giving you $10,000, it would really help if I knew that you actually had $10,000 or could otherwise manage $10,000, right? So one of the first things I'm going to do, besides checking out who you are as a business, is asking for your bank statements, right? I want to make sure that you don't have a whole bunch of chargebacks or a bunch of insufficient fund fees, or that you only ever have $5 in your bank account at any time, and now here I am about to give you 10. So you have to make sure you've got a strong banking history there. The other big thing, and this is why it's so important to do it as soon as possible, the day that you open your business bank account is the day that lenders consider your business to have really started. So even if you incorporated your business a decade ago, right? But you only opened your business bank account yesterday, they are going to decide and really look at it as, oh, this business is only really established since yesterday. Doesn't matter what happened before then, because that banking history is everything. Put a 1 in the chat box if you understand what I mean by that, and if you understand the importance of what I'm saying here about making sure that you have your business banking history established as soon as possible. Put a 1 in the chat box if you're following me. The longer your business banking history is, the better and stronger your borrowing potential will be. You want to make sure, in addition to having the banking history, that it is a strong banking history, right? What good is having a banking history that's bad? So in the example I just gave, sure, you've got the bank statements, but the bank statements all show that you barely have any money and that you are managing the little bit of money you have very poorly. So you want to change that by making sure you've got a high account balance in your bank. Okay, if you're asking for $10,000, you should try to at least have $10,000 in the bank, right? Having a good bank rating is essential for the most basic approvals, and you want to try and make sure that you keep a bank balance of at least $10,000 for just consistently and reliably high bank ratings. Now, let's move on here before I get too much deeper into this, because we're about to really now get into the how-tos. If you guys have any questions, put those in the chat box. We do have a couple, but I see that those are going to be answered at the end of the presentation here, so just stick around there. If you guys are liking what I'm doing so far, definitely, give me a thumbs up if you have those emojis, or give me a 1 in the chat box. Yes, let me know that you guys are really engaging, that you're really liking what I'm saying. All right, let's get right back to it. The business credit building process. So we just spent all this wonderful time talking about the business setup. Now it's time to talk about vendor credit. After that, we're going to talk about revolving credit, then the credit cards, and then that really big financing. So let's get right into vendor credit in part 4, how to use business credit. So you want to make sure that you start by obtaining small vendor accounts, paying your bills on time, and then repeating that process with larger and larger accounts. That's basically it. So when we talked again, I know I'm going to keep on going to this example again and again, but in the very beginning, I said if you went and applied for a $250,000 loan without having to use your personal credit, would you qualify? Well, this is how you do it, right? This is how you get to the point that you can qualify for that. You start small, you pay your bills, you get larger and larger accounts, you pay those bills, and then you just keep on going. That's how you build business credit. Okay, so you want to build your initial credit profile with small vendor credit approvals. A business credit report can be started much the same as a consumer credit report commonly is, with small credit cards, just like we talked about with that 18-year-old who's getting their first card. You want to start small as a business. The business can be approved for small credit cards to help them build that initial credit profile. In the business world, these types of cards are commonly referred to as vendor credit. You can start with a vendor line of credit. And a vendor line of credit, in case you guys don't know, is when a company or the vendor extends a line of credit to your business on net terms. So you might have net 15, net 30, 60, 90. All of those are just different terms. And this basically means that you can purchase their products and services today, right? So like, I'm going to give you the service today, and then you have a certain period of time to pay the balance in full. So I'll give you guys a really great example. Let's say that you need a website, okay, from the marketing half of our company. You need a website, and you don't pay for the whole thing up front. Let's say that we give you a net 30 agreement, meaning that you have 30 days to pay the balance of the website. Well, if we're giving you that line of credit, that's what a net term is. So it basically means you get all the service today, you get the website, you get all this work done, you have 30 days to pay, right? So that's a really great way to get started. You need to have at least 5 of these types of net 30-day vendor accounts to really have your properly established credit profile. So most merchants and retailers, they're not going to tell you about any of this, right? So again, in that example with the marketing company, the marketing half of Oxford, we're not going to suggest that we give you all the work up front and give you 30 days to pay. It's not in the favor of most companies to do that. So you're going to have to ask if they do offer vendor financing, right? But if you do that and you're able to now get those terms, you're able to now get 5 of them, that puts you on your way to getting properly established business credit. And in addition to having 5, you want to make sure that they are reporting for at least 3 cycles. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, this has got to be the biggest detail when it comes to this. You've got to pay your balance in full and on time for all of those accounts. If you are late, you are going to be hurting yourself and you're going to be hurting your brand new business credit history. Always apply for a vendor line of credit using your EIN first, and only provide your SSN if it is requested, okay? Because again, this is all about separating you personally from the business. You do not want to have to keep on putting your social security number on things. You don't want to have to keep on guaranteeing things. You don't want to have to keep on having your personal credit checked. And so you've got this EIN, you've got to use it. Put your EIN on all those applications. Only give them your SSN if they insist on it to get the vendor lines of credit. All right, so we talked about business setup. We talked about vendor credit. Now let's move on to revolving credit. Once your vendor credit accounts are established, then you're going to be able to qualify for revolving accounts. Now, revolving accounts are cards that are that a business owner is able to use without having to pay the full balance owed every single month. So remember with the net terms that you had from the vendor lines of credit, you had to pay that off every month, right? With revolving accounts, you're able to carry a balance from month to month. So a little bit more lax, we're getting a little bit more advanced here, right? We're dealing with bigger numbers, and so your business credit profile is getting stronger. Cards from stores are going to be the first revolving accounts that your business is approved for. And some store revolving credit accounts, they actually have to be obtained before you're able to get the big stuff. So you're not really going to be able to get the cards like Visa, MasterCard, and American Express until you already have established that history with basic store cards. If you can manage a store card, you can manage an American Express, is basically the train of thought there. Most stores will not approve a business owner for business credit unless the owner has established a credit profile and score, just like in the consumer world, okay? So you can't really skip to this stage until you successfully establish those vendor lines of credit, okay? So we're really helping you guys understand the process here. Make sure you're writing this stuff down. If you understand what I'm saying so far, put a 1 in the chat box. Let me know you guys are still following me. If I've lost you somewhere, definitely put a question in the chat box, and I'll try to keep up with those and make sure that I'm keeping you guys understanding, because this is the nitty-gritty of it, right? This is the process. You start out with those with a properly established profile. Then you get your vendor lines of credit. Then you have your store lines of credit. It typically takes 90 days or less to establish a business credit score and profile with these types of trade lines, okay? So now we're moving on to the fun stuff, the credit cards, okay? So the American Express, the MasterCard, your Chase Sapphire, all the cool stuff. But before you get to that, it typically is going to take you 10 revolving accounts to be approved, at least easily, for major credit cards. So remember, you needed 5 of those vendor lines of credit before. Now you need 10 revolving accounts, and once you've got those, now you're able to qualify for your major credit cards. So once you have 10 revolving and healthy accounts, that's when you're able to start really applying for the American Express, MasterCard, and Visa. But there's a small catch. You're only going to be approved for the total of your highest account, right? So your highest limit on your previous credit. For example, if one of the store cards gave you a credit limit of $10,000 for that store, let's say that it's Staples, okay? Well, you'd be able to qualify for a $10,000 limit on one of the major credit cards. They're not going to give you anything more than you've already been able to establish. So that's why it's important to make sure that along the way, you are getting higher and higher limits, and you're managing those limits very well by paying your bills on time, okay? And then that's it. So if you're repeating this process, you're keeping up, you are getting your lines of credit, you are utilizing that credit, you're paying your bills on time and repeating, you're going to be able to now get major financing. So if you want to stay on the path to 6-figure financing, it is absolutely essential that you keep on using the business credit you have obtained, keep on paying your bills on time, keep on applying for more credit, regularly request that they increase those limits, and that is how you're on your way now to 6-figure financing. So before we hop into part 5, taking action, I want to make sure that we have no unique questions here, all right? Put a 1 in the chat box for me, guys. If you guys are still paying attention, if you're still here, if you're still following, I definitely appreciate everyone who's in this presentation and watching. All right, let's keep on going. Awesome, awesome. So many responses. I really appreciate that. Let's keep on going here. Okay, so now you know what business credit is, and you now know how to build it. So now it's time to take action, all right? But that is a little bit easier said than done here. So let's really think about the logistics, okay? Are you really prepared to do everything that it takes to build business credit on your own? So I did just tell you guys all the steps on how these things get done, like all the what's, right? But logistically, do you really know how to check and monitor your own business credit? Do you know how to correct the errors on your business credit report once you check it? Do you know how to do that on your own? Do you really know how to clean up your own listings and registrations? So we talked about making sure that your business name is the same on everything. Well, what if it isn't? Do you know how to fix that on your own? Do you know how to set up resources like virtual offices and toll-free numbers on your own and the fax that we talked about? Do you really know how to get all that stuff done? Do you know how to check your own bank rating? So we talked about the importance of having a good bank rating and making sure you have a high balance, but how do you check that? You know, how do you actually logistically go get that done? Are you qualified to build a professional website for your business with the business email that we talked about? So we said one of the very first things that a lender is going to do, besides making sure you're a real business, is checking out your website and seeing what you're about. Do you know how to get a website for yourself, right? Can you do that? And do you know how to begin qualifying for those vendor lines of credit on your own? So we talked about vendor lines of credit. We talked about the revolving accounts, the major cards. But do you understand the process of actually where to find those vendors, how to do the applications, what the qualifications are? Can you figure all that stuff out on your own? If you're the average person, it's going to take you about 18 to 24 months to learn how to set all this stuff up on your own. No one is saying that you can't. We definitely have already provided you with a lot of information on how this stuff is actually done, right? But it's going to take you this huge learning curve of 18 to 24 months to actually do it, when you could have just spent the next 6 months letting us guide you instead. So business credit can be built a lot faster with our business credit builder from Oxford Pierpont Financial. And this is really where we're going to get into being able to actually help you execute on all the things that we just talked about. The Business Credit Builder program is an ingenious online software platform that is accompanied by a full-service advisor team that enables you to build lots of funding and start and grow your business fast. So instead of waiting 2 years, right, to get the financing that your business needs, you could have accomplished so much more by just having all this stuff done in 6 months, get access to the financing that you need, and keep moving forward. Now, while we cannot directly build the business credit for you, we can provide you with our easy-to-use software and hold you accountable to make sure that you're staying on track as we guide you through the process every step of the way. The reason that we cannot actually build the business credit for you is because that would be illegal. We cannot go and do credit applications for you, but we can tell you, hey, apply here, not there. For this person, you're going to need these kinds of qualifications. For this one, you won't qualify yet, but you should be able to qualify in this amount of time. We'll be able to give you that step-by-step hand-holding guidance right there, okay? Why our business credit builder is really perfect for you. So you get a business credit for your business that is not linked to your social security number. So that's the one big thing that's really the core focus of this whole presentation, is being able to separate yourself. So the business credit builder helps you do that. And you get access to funding for your business to start and grow. And with strong business credit, you'll be able to access funding for the life of your business again and again and again and again. In other words, you don't have to worry about money anymore. I'll give you guys a great example of what I'm talking about here. So, Corona hit us and ruined all of our lives this year. Think about all the restaurant owners as an example, who were really put against the ropes this year. So you had some people that were able to successfully pivot their business and switch over to delivery, right? And make the changes that were required to actually survive and keep on moving. And some of them are now even able to do better than they were before. But what if you were a business that you didn't really have strong cash flow, you didn't have any access to financing, and so your business had to close? How much different would those businesses have been if they just had consistent access to financing because they had consistent business credit, strong business credit, right? So we're talking about basics here. Just think about your own business. Just think about what your business would be able to do if you had access to properly established business credit. And to talk about the software a little bit more, let's actually just kind of go over and do a live demo here. So this is the Business Credit Builder. All the different steps that we talked about, they're all laid out right here for you in order. So let's say that we're starting at step 1. We want to make sure that we establish properly built credibility there. Okay. So I click on step 1. I click on business credibility, and what it's going to give me is now a step-by-step breakdown of everything that is required to actually set up my business, as well as all the how-to videos and everything else. Let's see, my computer's going a little bit slow here. There it is. All right. So it breaks down all the steps that you need. So you've got your business name, check, address, your entity, your EIN, your phone numbers and 411 listings, your website, business license. All that stuff is laid out for you right here. Okay. And we just go on and on and on. So let's say that this is done now. Next, we move on to making sure we get our business credit reports. Then we move on to starting to apply for things. We talked about all those vendors, right? Wouldn't it be a lot easier if we just told you which vendors that you actually needed to apply for? Sorry about that. If we just kind of showed you all that? Well, with the Business Credit Builder, we are breaking down exactly everything that you need. So let's say that we were going to start with something easy like Uline, okay? So if we come over to Uline, we see that we want to go ahead and get a trade line with this company. Right now, it says that it's not recommended because we've not done the previous things that we're supposed to do to actually qualify. But once all those things are done, we've met the qualifications that are listed right here. Now the apply button is activated and we can apply. And our Business Credit Builder, it breaks down for you exactly what is required for each one of these. How cool is that, right? No guessing. No guessing. So many times you are not qualified for a certain application or a certain funding product, right? You apply anyway because you don't know that you're not qualified, and then you inevitably get denied for the loan. Well, here, you're able to understand the full breakdown. So to qualify, NC with good standing for that Secretary of State, EIN with the IRS, business address matching everywhere. We talked about that. Making sure that you've got a DUNS number. So in this case, you had to have a DMB number to qualify for them. Your business license, if applicable, your business bank account, your phone number listed in 411, right? So that's something that they're looking for. All of these things are broken down for you so that you do not have to guess about it. And then they tell you what the terms are. So in the case of Uline, you have net 30 terms. So that's just one example of how our Business Credit Builder makes it way easier for you to get these trade lines, qualify for them, know exactly what those qualifications are. You're able to get 5 of them, and then you're able to keep on growing, okay? So now if we go back over to, let's say, build my business credit right here, and I'm going to look at some of the more advanced stuff. So now let's say we've been doing this for a while. We want to get into the advanced building, okay? So we have all these different advanced lenders that have their own different qualifications, okay? Let's say that we want to get an Amazon card. How much money do you spend on Amazon every month, right? Imagine if you could just qualify for Amazon. So right there, it says that the applicant can apply for a net 55 account, which means you've got 55 days to pay. It tells you right here that Amazon is going to pull your DNB or your Equifax report to review your qualifications, okay? And it's going to say that if the business credit history is not enough, they're going to ask for a personal guarantee. So a PG is a personal guarantee. And if the credit department has to do a manual review, they're going to, basically they're laying out all the instructions for how to actually be approved for this card. So just imagine, you've got the Business Credit Builder, in your toolbox. You don't really have to guess about what it is because Amazon's telling you right here, hey, this is what we're looking for. This is how a person is going to be able to qualify. Then they give you the link right there to actually be able to qualify. That is the power of the Business Credit Builder. All right, so let's keep on moving forward because there's still so much more to talk about here. So, and we just touched on this, but our Business Credit Builder, our cutting edge technology, is going to help you meet those credibility requirements before you even submit your applications. And our team is going to walk you through all of this every step of the way. So you have access to our team for actually an entire year. So we're going to help you set up your business name correctly so that you're not a high risk. We're going to make sure that you have your EIN, your business address, your phone number, all that stuff easily set up. We're going to make sure that your website and email address are done properly, that you have the licenses that you need, and that your bank account is done. We're going to make sure that you have your account set up with all 3 of the major credit bureaus. So that was Equifax, that was Experian, Duns & Bradstreet. And we're going to make sure that you have access to discounted credit reports so that you can keep on checking your credit. And when you work with us, we'll actually be able to save you $1,500 by getting you the DUNS number for free. So remember when we looked at that Uline application, it said that they required the DUNS number. We're going to make sure that you have that set up. Uline, or not Uline, Duns & Bradstreet will actually try and charge you $1,500 to set that up. So huge savings right there. The other big thing here is that our contacts become your contacts. So you see how easily I found Amazon and how easily I was able to see what the requirements were? Well, there are so many different vendors and partners that we have. so that you can easily choose what's right for your business and right for your goals, find out what the requirements are, and do the applications. We have the largest supply of starter vendors, including exclusive sources, so that you can start your business credit with all 3 reporting agencies, right? We also have a massive selection of revolving store credit with underwriting guidelines so that you can understand the qualifications before you apply it. Like as that example we saw with Amazon, they told you exactly what they needed in order to be able to qualify there. We also have access to hard-to-find cash credit sources, fleet credit, and even auto vehicle financing. So earlier I mentioned that all-electric F-150 that I want. It would be so awesome if I could get auto vehicle financing through this program and be able to qualify for it without having to risk my personal credit or anything like that. All of this stuff, you're able to get it with no personal check or guarantee required. We saw in the Amazon requirements, right? They said, hey, if you've got strong business credit, you won't even need a personal guarantee. That's the whole point of this. Let's go back to that example. Let's go right back here. So you see right here, okay? So they're gonna look for your business credit history, and only if it's not strong enough will they ask you for a personal guarantee, okay? So if we're building strong business credit, and of course this Amazon application was in the tier 3 section, so it's a little bit higher, but the point here is that if you build your strong business credit, you can get major retailers like Amazon without having to use your personal guarantee. So big stuff here, really, really awesome. If you guys are still following me, if you're excited about being able to have access to these major funding sources, put a 1 in the chat box for me. Let me know how excited you are. I want to see how you guys are really going to be able to use this type of funding, this type of software to really drive your business forward. Let's keep on going here. All right, so once your business credit is established, then we're going to provide you with those advanced financing options. And that's kind of what we just saw with Amazon, right? So you'll have access to cash flow financing options with no consumer credit requirements, asset-based financing options with rates as low as 2%, okay? Unsecured, 0% financing up to $150,000, private money, alternative SBA, and venture capital financing. So once you have a good history, right, you have a good credit profile, we're able to get you really big stuff that can really grow your business. And keep in mind, we're not talking about 18 to 24 months here. We're talking as little as 6 months. How different would your business be if in just 6 months you're able to now get access to $150,000 of financing with 0%, unsecured, no collateral, okay? That's major stuff right there, all because you took the time to build your business credit. Okay, so now that's enough theory. Let's talk about some case studies. Our case studies demonstrate the hundreds of thousands of dollars a business owner can get with business credit. And this is right on our website. So I'm going to go up a tab here. I'm going to go to our case studies, okay? You can see this for yourself anytime if you go to oxfordpierpont.com, click on financial, right there, see case studies, okay? Let's look at some of these. All right, so $40,500 right there. We have someone that got $19,000, $147,000 right there. Someone got $26,500 in this case study. And by the way, this list goes on and on and on. You can be scrolling for a very long time just seeing all the different case studies here. Someone in Texas, $195,000 that they were able to achieve right there. $33,849 in New York right here. So we can just keep on going, and they just keep on getting bigger and bigger. $100,000 right here for somebody, $75,000 right there, $200,000. We have a lot of case studies because this is something that is very straightforward. It's something that is very easy to do, and it's common sense. Think about it in your personal life. In your personal life, if you want to go get a house or a car, you want good interest rates, you simply take care of your personal credit. Do you not? Right? It's the same thing for your business credit. You are able to get access to major funding and financing once you establish your business credit history. It's just that for whatever reason, no one really has that education right there. Look at this, $600,000 in private equity financing that we were able to get someone. $15,400 in revenue financing that we were able to do for someone. $21,000 in Georgia for 401k financing. It just goes on, and there's so many different types. This is the same kind of thing that you're able to have once you establish your business credit, okay? And you can take a look at those on our website. There are lots of them, and that's not even getting into the business credit results. Actually, I'll just show you. Let's not even theorize here. Let's just go straight to it because there's so much to see here. So if I click on business credit results, we see the actual applications that people were able to send back, so $10,000 from Bank of America, $12,000 from PNC, right there, $24,000 for an American Express card, another $24,000 for American Express, $10,000 for US Bank, $15,000 for Citi. It just goes on and on. So you guys can take a look at our website, take a look at all these different approvals here. You're able to access the same thing. There's nothing special about this. It's just following the process, right? You follow the process, you establish your business credit, you're able to now get the kind of financing that you need. This person, $50,000 from American Express. Let's click on that. $50,000 from American Express that you're able to get there. So let's just go right back into this now and keep on going. Still lots more to talk about, and don't forget, if you stay until the end, we do have some free gifts for you. Now, if you look online right now, you'll see that our Business Credit Builder sells for over $5,000 on its own. That is the software, okay? That's the software to be able to go in and really build your business credit just using this kind of laid out step-by-step option here, as well as the resources, the credit monitoring. So access to all this. If you look online right now, you'll see that is selling for over $5,000 right now. But because you guys are still here, and obviously you're committed to building your business credit, we're going to give you a massive discount with special bonuses, all right? So you won't have to pay $5,000. Our standard credit building software and advising typically includes 1 year of step-by-step support from our business credit building advisors, 5 years of access to the credit building software, financing check to see what kind of financing you can immediately qualify for, and then so much more. And all that costs $5,458, right? If you were going to buy this from our website right now without this webinar, that is the price point that you would be paying, okay? But if you're able, right, if you're able to do the standard pay, so you're able to get all this stuff done because you're serious about it, we're actually going to save you 30%. So instead of having to pay instead of having to pay $54.58, you've only got to pay $34.97, and you get all of everything that's included. Now, we do offer some payment options. You can do the weekly, which is $179 per week, or the monthly, which is $397 per month. Both of those have a $694 down payment on that, or deposit. But the best deal is our standard, where you've got it for $34.97 in a single payment. So just to recap here, okay? That is everything that's right here. So all this stuff that's listed, access to all the different pre-qualifications that we showed you, that $1,500 value Duns and Bradstreet number that we're going to include for you. You have access to your credit reports, which are worth $600 annually. You have access to up to $150,000 in unsecured financing. We're going to help you fix your inaccuracies on your report. Free 411 listing. We've got all this different stuff. And instead of it being $5,458, you only have to pay $3,497, or you can break it down into monthly payment options, whatever works for you, okay? Now, another thing, we mentioned earlier that we were going to give away some awesome gifts here, and we mentioned earlier that one of the things you need is a website, okay? But what if you don't have a website for your business? Well, if you are able to do the single payment today, for that $34.97, we will actually give you a website included with your plan, all right? So we're going to give you a single page website for your business if you're able to pay in full there. And to make your life a little bit easier and more productive, we're also going to include 6 hours of our professional business development consulting, which is a huge deal. That's actually a lot of what we do, and people love our consultations. And we're going to give you a $500 marketing credit, okay? So that you're able to act on the things we discuss in our consultations. So this is just for the people who are paying in full. This is our gift to you for having, been making it this far through this webinar, as we're talking about all that is required to build your business credit. So just to recap here, you're able to get everything plus the website, plus the consultations, everything there for just $34.97 when you order today. So you get more value when you order today in that single payment. Now let's talk a little bit, because you might be thinking, I don't really have $34.97 right now, and I don't really want to have to do the different payment options, so I'm thinking about just kind of exiting the webinar. Well, let's really think about the cost here. So let's talk about time versus money. It is typically going to take 18 to 24 months to do all this stuff on your own, when you could have just had it done with us in as little as 6 months. All right. How much is that really going to cost you? So if you are going to take, as little as 18 months, typically 24 months, what could you have been accomplishing if you had access to your funding for that period of time? So instead of waiting, 2 years to get access to $250,000, what if you were able to get that kind of financing and then have the next 2 years to grow your business with that money, right? How much of a huge difference would that make in your life, right? How would your business change if you had access to that funding right now? And let's keep in mind that even if you do manage to build your business credit on your own, so you figured out how to find the vendors, you figured out how to find the revolving accounts, how to get the credit card applications, you're still going to pay thousands of dollars in the process. So you've still got to pay thousands to Duns & Bradstreet. So you still have to get a website. You still have to pay for monitoring your credit, and it's really expensive there. You still have all these different things, not to mention just the sheer amount of time that it takes, right? So how valuable is your time? So when you're thinking about making a decision on whether or not you should go ahead and get started with building your business credit, these are the things that you really want to make sure you're taking into consideration, okay? Alright, so let's sweeten the deal a little bit more with a few more powerful webinar bonuses that you will receive today, okay? So you've got a 30-minute initial coaching call with our expert advising team, and that'll be on the next business day. You have credit monitoring with Duns & Bradstreet and Experian for $24 a month, so we're saving you $2,200 per year on that, okay? You have a free business valuation, which is a 28-page report so that you know exactly what your business is worth. $997 value right there. So to recap, when you order, the 20 big benefits you're going to receive are, number one, 24/7 access to our business credit building software. And this is a lot of stuff, guys, so bear with me. So you've got 24/7 access there for 5 years, and that's a value of $2,000. Concierge advisor access for your business, that's a value of $5,000, where you're able to call us, where we are calling you, making sure that you're actually following the process. Free Duns & Bradstreet number and credit activation, $1,500 value right there. Free Experian and Smart Business Access, $600 value. We've got the largest supply of vendors, our massive selection of revolving store and credit providers, as you guys saw in the demo of the software. We give you access to up to $150,000 in unsecured financing that reports to the business credit agencies. Unsecured, no collateral required. Might not even need your personal guarantee if you've done all this stuff correctly. That is huge for your business. Free 411 listing, $360 value. We give you access to hard-to-find cash credit sources. We clean up your credit, right? We're checking for all 3 reporting agencies. We're looking for the inaccuracies. We are cleaning all that stuff up. We give you access to fleet credit with no credit check or personal guarantee. We give you access to auto vehicle financing in your business name. Credit monitoring for that $24 per month, so we're saving you that $2,200 per year. We give you cash flow and collateral financing starting at just 2% rates. Access to vendor and specific pre-qualification lists so that you're not stumbling around, right? We're telling you everything that is required before you apply. That is a huge benefit so that you do not get denied for the loans you're applying for. We do a fundability check to see if you're able to qualify for immediate financing. that can happen instantly, right? So even if it's going to take us 6 months to help you build your business credit, you can find out what you can qualify for today so that you can get some money into your business as soon as possible. We give you that 28-page business valuation report. We give you 6 months or a month of business development consulting. Those are for the people who are single paying. For the single pay people, we also give you a professional 1-page website for the business, and this is huge, we give you a $500 credit towards any marketing service from the marketing side of our company so that you're able to act on the things we discuss in the consultations, and you're able to further grow your business. Now, separately, all of those 20 benefits and bonuses that I just talked about would cost you over $14,000, and it would still take you 18 to 24 months for you to do this stuff on your own, and just really figuring out all this stuff on your own. We can do the work for you in just 6 months, all for $34.97, which is over $10,000 in savings. So definitely swing over to oxfordpierpont.com/webinar offer. You should be able to see a button, popping around somewhere around here. It's probably also going to be in the chat box because my assistants are in there as well, answering your questions as we're going. So definitely check that out. Let's go over to the page here. So you can just come straight to our website. This is a special page here. If you're doing the single payment, you're able to click on Get Started and submit your payment, and you're good to go there, right? And you're able to do all that stuff today. If you do the single payment, don't forget, you get all those extra benefits as well. So the website, the consultations, and that $500 marketing credit from Oxford Pierpont Marketing. All right, so let's talk about some frequently asked questions. I know you guys have a lot of questions that you've been asking in the chat box, and quite a few of them are actually right here. So number one, how do I find vendors to start building business credit on my own? Okay, so this is something we talked about earlier. You need those vendor lines of credit, and like I said, most of them aren't exactly volunteering the information about the fact that they do offer that type of financing. So you want to make sure that you're just kind of calling around for the vendors that you think you need access to, and you simply ask. Now, if you're someone who's using our business credit builder, you would actually already have access to a very large supply of those vendors so that you don't have to guess. You'd see what you're able to qualify for now, you'd be able to do the applications, and then you'd be able to just move forward. But if you're doing it on your own, you've got to Google, you've got to make a lot of phone calls and do a lot of negotiations there. Next, how can you build business credit in only 6 months if normally it takes 18 to 24 months or 26 months? So just think about this for a second. The reason it would take nearly 2 years for you to do the job on your own is because you don't know what you're doing necessarily. You've got to, just in the case of the vendors, right? You've got to call all these different people. You've got to find out what their terms are. You might do quite a few applications and get denied for those applications because they're not laying out what the qualifications are. So you're just spending a lot of time doing stuff that we would be able to have guided you on, right, without having you stumble, and we're able to just move the whole process forward in a more efficient way so we can get the job done faster. What would take you 18 to 24 months would only take us 6 months. Do we offer payment plans for or different payment options? We definitely do. Now, you get the most benefit out of the standard single pay, but we do offer the $179 per week or the $397 per month with a $694 payment. If these still do not work for you, definitely give us a call because we want to work with a variety of different people and business owners and be accommodating if we can. And so we will work with you on that. Why is the pricing so heavily discounted? The only people who see these prices, all right, where we've got those discounts, are the people who are motivated enough to actually take advantage of them. So you're on a special page right now. So this webinar page that we have here, this is a special page on our website. These are special prices for people who are actually participating and have stayed this long through the webinar. Normally, you're going to see this all priced at about $5,458, all right, without the huge discounts, without a free website added, without the consulting added, without the $500 marketing credit. We're offering these things because we do want to work with people who are motivated and will actually take action. Now, how long will these special packages be available? They come and go. All right, so generally speaking, this is about 24 to 72 hours before these things get taken down and before the discounts are gone. But again, if you're motivated, if you're acting quickly, you're taking advantage of these, you don't really have to worry about them going away because you're acting now. If you wait a week from now or a month from now, we may or may not still have these same things. And as the program grows and as we take on too many clients, we actually eliminate the discounts because we have to slow down how many people we're taking on. So you have a few, a few hours there. I would definitely do it sooner than later. And if you need help, you can just give us a call, tell us what your concerns are, and we'll try to make sure that we are being as accommodating as we can for the pricing so that we can try and help you fit your budget. But again, that $179 weekly option or that $397 monthly option, those are pretty good options for most budgets. So, just let us know what you're looking for and we'll try to help you out there. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this webinar. Thank you for sitting through and making it this far with me. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to give us a call at 844-834-3458, or you can email us at financial@oxfordpierpont.co, and you can visit our website oxfordpierpont.com/webinar-offer. That'll take you to this page here, where you can learn more about the service and the program, and you can get started today. Thanks again for joining. Have a wonderful day.